Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Consume Cuppa Chats, International Women's Week edition. I am just going to add our guest for today, Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hello. Can you hear me okay and everything?
Hi.
Yeah.
I can. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I was just saying, it's been a little while since I've done these, so precariously balanced everything. We are reconvening our Consume Cuppa Chat. So it's going to be a brief chat with Anna. So Anna is an independent graphic designer and co-organizer of Yorkshire Kerning the Gap. Anna and I used to be neighbours at Duke Studios, where she's still based. And I feel like we've known each other quite a while through Glug when you were at Magpie, and then when you came to Duke. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy Anna's personality, and when I come into I feel like you're always smiling. You cheer me up when I walk in.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
So yeah, I thought you would be a great person to have a chat with for our International Women's Week special. The idea behind this is, given the kind of current climate and things being a bit uncertain, I really wanted to do a session with females in my community to kind of come up with what their challenges are and some practical tips that we can put out for other women this week and beyond, that are going to be really helpful to them. Because to be fair, when you're working, if you're employed or not employed, every day is a challenge. So it's always good to hear what other people are experiencing the same sort of things and tips on how they get around it. So Anna, I don't know if I've done you justice, but if you want to introduce yourself.
No, I think you did. You did a great job. Yeah, I'm an independent designer. I collectively work with other freelancers to take on bigger projects that maybe an agency would, or clients maybe who don't have a bigger budget to work with a big agency and they want to work with a small collective of freelancers. So that's basically what I do. A lot of brands, websites, a lot more digital now than I used to. But yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that Anna's been a designer for 18 years. So from going from employment, were you head of?
I was head of design. Yeah, head of design at Magpie. Yeah.
Yeah, head of design at Magpie. So a good, long, successful career and many more to go. And I also like you're constantly on the go. So you also did your motion graphic stuff. So you're always picking up new things and doing new bits, which I really respect, because I am not that way inclined.
No, yeah, I like to learn.
That's I really like that. And also Anna has a little girl, Robin, so she's a working mum. So all the things. So I feel like there's a lot of things that people can pick up from. So to keep me on track, my first question is, what are the biggest challenges you faced going self-employed? And what tips could you give to other people that are thinking about making the leap? Because I feel like during the pandemic, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just going to freelance. So that, I think this also encompasses people that have recently gone self-employed as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say my biggest challenge, the biggest challenge I've had so far is not being paid for some work. So I'd advise anyone to sort of take a deposit. 50%, 30% phased payment, something like that. Just, I don't start any work until I've got a bit of money up front, really, just to sort of protect myself. Obviously, there's contracts and all that other stuff, but I think the best thing for me is sort of taking a deposit. Other challenges, I'd say, are if someone wants to negotiate like the price that you've quoted, just make sure you knock something off. Don't just go, oh yeah, I'll do it for cheaper. Make sure you take something out, say, right, you can have this, this and this for that money. Because I've done that before as well. And some tips, I'd say, when you're first starting out, first going freelance, I'd sort of started building it up. So I was doing a bit of work on the side around my job. Potentially maybe have a pot of money. So like before I went freelance and I was thinking, right, I'd go to events and people say it's fine, it'll just work itself out. I think that's a tiny bit privileged, really. either have a pot of money or have, say you've got a partner or you're living with someone who can pay your rent or your mortgage, like, because you've got to pay your rent or your mortgage. So, you know, when I first did that, we knew that my husband could pay the mortgage if I couldn't for a few months, but he didn't have to. I made the money quite quickly. But yeah, I'd say like have a pot or a retainer. Maybe you've got like a 2-day retainer or something, not something like that. Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. When I went freelance, my first month I tried to get retainers to match the value of like what my salary had previously been.
Yeah.
But I was quite lucky. I got made redundant, so I had that, like you say, that pot. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is because it's quite stressful going into business. So you need a bit of infrastructure. You need that pot. The people say it'll work out, but I think it's less stress on you if you have a bit of like money.
Like it did work out for me. So I'm lucky, or I don't know if that it's great, but yeah, just have a little bit of security or something.
Yeah, I also like that tip about taking a deposit. If you do offer something cheaper, to take something off, because I think like you feel under pressure when you start to take any business, but then also to like take it for cheaper. But I think that's a good point. If you knock some money off, you have to knock some of the service off.
Yeah, definitely.
So my growth coach has now told me to always submit like tiered pricing. If someone doesn't give you a budget, which is always a fun thing when you're like, what's the budget? And they say, I don't know, give me a price. Said, like give them 3 prices. So like then they normally go for the middle one.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, money
definitely.
is an awful thing to deal with when you go self-employed.
Yeah.
And I have a note here about if you feel comfortable talking about being a working mum.
Yeah.
How do you juggle work, social life, because that's also important, being a mum, all the things, and also running Kerning the Gap and community as well, which is like another job.
Yeah. It is a juggle. Some days it's fine, some days it isn't. Like I'll give you an example. Monday night, my daughter decided to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and she went back to bed at 5:30, and my alarm went off at 6:30. And I had deadlines, and I had to work, and there was just nothing I could do. As a self-employed person, I'm not going to lie. If I could have moved my work, I would have gone back to bed. But when she went to nursery, but I didn't. I think I manage it sort of. My husband, he's very 50-50 parent. It's not like, oh, she's sick and nursery can't have her and you take the day off. He's self-employed as well. So we would both look at our work schedules and juggle it around and see who can like take the hit that day or that week or whatever. We've got grandparents nearby, my sister's nearby, so you know they're babysitting later, so we get to go out for a bit.
Nice.
So
do you talk to your clients about it? Like do you feel like it's something you can be kind of you can be quite candid with them about, you know, like you're juggling things, and how do they kind of like, do they make a little bit of like, because people are people, we have lives. Like
I think I have found people more understanding about it than I thought they would be. I sometimes do some work for a design agency, and a lot of them have children, and they've been really great. I did have to take a day off. We all got COVID, and I had to look after my daughter because Mark was in a really bad way. And they were really understanding. I've got some clients who were working mums as well, so they just totally get it, and they're like, yeah, my kid threw up this morning or whatever. I don't want to scare anyone. Also, it gets easier. If you've just gone back to work and you're a working mum, this is a hard time because it's winter. It'll get better, I promise.
I think, well, from what I've seen, like managing expectations, some people generally will make allowances, you know, for if you're just honest, but
yeah, and most people will say that's fine, yeah, we can move that, or yeah, I've managed to do it. I've managed it, so it's fine. I've got through. I mean, yeah, sometimes I have to work in the evenings, and it's just the way it is. I think everybody who's got their own business, child or no child, probably anyone employed probably does. You know, people work in the evenings, people work all the different hours, don't they? So yeah.
And on the event side, so one thing I've become aware of over the years is running events that are a bit more like friendly, but because corporate life, it was always like evening events, boozy events.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've thought about for Kerning the Gap, or like the structure and format of how you run those events now?
It's definitely more on my mind, and I think it's great that people can join digitally, but obviously people want face-to-face things. I think it's good to do an afternoon event if people can get time out of work to come. I think that's a great thing. I went to an afternoon event and I really enjoyed it, because sometimes after work people do just want to get home to the families, or maybe they just want to get home. But yeah, I think it is something that we should definitely consider a bit more moving forward, because we want to get back to face-to-face. We haven't done anything face-to-face. We've been doing digital stuff. The mentoring programs all run digitally, so but whether that'll end up being a day or maybe we'll do two, one in the day, one in the evening. Yeah,
I think it's good to have a mix. So
yeah,
we're on International Women's Week, so do you want to tell us a little bit about Kerning the Gap?
yeah. So Kerning the Gap is a network of like-minded individuals who basically just want to see more diversity in design leadership roles. There is a strong focus on women. The stats are, quite bad. 63% of women come out of university, and only 17% sort of make it to like creative director, head of design, etc., senior roles. So yeah, we just put things. We try and run events. The best thing I think we do is the mentoring program. So Yorkshire is in its second year. So each year we take a cohort of 20 mentees and mentors. We have like a matching event. It's all run digitally by, they're called the Conversation Space. They're really great. They put on this great event. And then we pair people, and then we're going to have a mid-year check-in because it's nearly mid-year time around April. And that's just really great. The feedback we get from that is brilliant, and I really think mentoring is just a great tool for people. We do have subsidised spaces as well. So if next time we run it, if anyone can't get the boss to pay or they can't afford it, like let me know and I'll be able to sort that out for you.
I think I think the other point is like mentoring isn't always for more junior people. Like I think it's also like mentoring is good for any point, because you need like a check-in. Like sometimes it's good, it's almost like a buddy. Like mentoring buddy is good for anybody. So I don't think people should assume it's just for like the more junior roles as well.
No, I've got a mentor. I signed up through the programme. She's ace. She's setting me loads of actions. It's great. I love it.
Sounds cool. It really, really helps.
Yeah, it's really good.
I ended up being mentored by my mentee at one point, because she was in a job and she had a lot more structure. So we actually flipped.
Yeah.
I learned loads from her. She was in a structured environment, whereas I'm like self-employed, like floating around. So yeah, I think that's definitely a good scheme.
Yeah.
And what made you take that on? Because obviously you're self-employed, you've already got a lot of things going on. Taking on another thing.
I was always really passionate about. I've just always really been really passionate about just women in leadership, supporting women and things like that. Probably get like more and more into like other different stuff. Like I listened to a really good podcast recently, the NDA podcast. There's a one about let the working class in. That's really good. Anyway, I just got into it because I'm really passionate about it. I want to continue to do it. I saw that they were rolling chapters out in other cities, and I was like, I want this in Leeds. So I contacted Nat, and she was like, right, well, if you help, then yeah. So I contacted Eve. Eve runs it with me, Eve Warren. She used to run Ladies Wine Design. So then we do that together. We are actually getting some extra like help. So we're going to get some more volunteers because we need a bit of help. But yeah, I'm really passionate about it, and I just want to keep it going. And I probably want to do more stuff as part of my business as well. Like it's part of who I am and what I believe, and like moving forward, I want it to be a thing, and I want to pay it forward.
Yeah, I think
people.
but it's definitely a big thing. So like, you know, it's an achievement to take on an additional thing. Running a community is never, it's never an easy job, and it's basically like another business because it's full on.
Yeah.
But I think we've both said, like previously, there's a lack of role models at that senior level when you like
Yeah.
look to agent and like female agency owners as well, or there's a
Yeah. And I think that was a thing as well. Like I felt like I didn't have anyone to look up to.
yeah,
I was like, I don't see a future for myself. Like, what am I going to do?
yeah.
So hopefully, you know, we can make some of the younger ones see that there is a future, you know.
Or there's someone to ask the questions,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we do all experience similar. Not everyone has the same experience, but there's similar things and how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And penultimate question is, post-pandemic, how has the current commercial climate affected your plans for the business, and maybe new skills that you took on to try and diversify what you offer?
Yeah. I feel like it's a bit of a weird one for me because I was working in the pandemic and then I went on maternity leave, and then I've just had to like, I had some time out, so I've had to like build it all back up again. I did a motion course because I wanted to like up my digital skills and offer that motion as part of my service. So that was something that I did. I think moving forward, there's all sorts I'm doing. I just found out I've been accepted to the NatWest Accelerator program yesterday evening. Yeah, so I'm doing that. And yeah, I always want to be learning new skills, so I'd like to learn about designing for augmented reality. I don't really understand it.
That's what I do love. I do love that about you, Anna. Is like, I don't. I'm going to go learn about it.
Yeah, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn about it. Yeah, I think it's something that I need to learn, so I'm going to try and do that. But yeah,
I think that's important as well. Like people, like I think going into your career, like we're approaching like the 20-year mark in our careers, but it's still learning. Like you don't know everything, and I think that makes a difference. And yeah, I like that you're a doer. Like you take on a community, take on a new project. So this year's International Women's Day theme is equality. What does equality look like for you in an ideal world?
I think in our industry, a lot of people don't really check the privilege. So I think people should maybe check the privilege a little bit more. And as we said with Kerning the Gap, there's not enough opportunities for like, you know, minorities and working class women, etc. So in an ideal world, I'd like to see more people doing something about that. And like I said, I want to do that. You know, I'd like to take on, you know, provide good paid internships, or, you know, maybe in 10 years' time, I'll have a little design academy, you know, and maybe I'll go into schools, because I think university maybe is, I think it's great to go to universities, but it's a bit too late. Some people won't even make it to university because they just haven't had the opportunities. So maybe I can go help. I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it's also like university's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I learned, like doing Digital Day with Beamer, is that a lot of young people, like from like primary school age, from like Key Stage 4 and that kind of level, they don't even know that digital or creative is a career.
Yeah.
They don't know the expanse of what's available.
Yeah.
So by the time they've got to uni, it's too late.
Yeah.
But also it is like a level of privilege that the amount of equipment and Adobe and all that stuff is.
It costs a bomb.
Yeah. It costs a bomb for us, let alone someone trying to learn the ropes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very, very good point. I think that's checking privileges, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
Definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Anna. It was a brief stop talk. What have you got coming up? Is there anything coming up that we can talk about that you want to plug? Is there any more? Is there a Kerning the Gap coming up, or?
And there should be, but it's not definite yet.
Okay. We'll watch.
So I can't plug anything.
Okay. We'll watch that space. But you can find Anna around and about Duke Studios, or we will put your handles into the IGTV and on our YouTube so people can watch us back.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining us for a brief chat. Do you have any top tips that you want to share with people going into the industry or just generally working?
Don't give up.
That's a good one.
It's a tough industry. Like the design industry, it's tough. It's hard to crack into everything. Just don't give up. Like, and if you ever want any advice, you can drop me a message.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Find your people. Find people that will help.
Yeah.
Give up. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Anna. I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a good rest of day.
Yeah.
Say hello
You
to
too.
Mark and little
I will.
for us.
I will.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.